Welcome to Teaching Orchestra. When is the best time to teach vibrato? Right now. And if you're watching this video right now, you can start teaching vibrato today. But it's a Saturday in July, and I'm watching this from the International Space Station. All right, listen, you can make excuses or you can start teaching vibrato. Which one are you going to do? Are there astronauts on the International Space Station? All right, give them some violins and teach them vibrato, okay? Honor and Glory is a wonderful piece for your students to practice their vibrato in the wild because it has a lot of half notes and whole notes. Why do we delay teaching vibrato? Because it's non-essential? Because it's time-consuming? Because we're not good at teaching it? I could keep going all day with excuses, but it's not very productive. And I think instead, we should look at the reasons why we should teach vibrato. And the first being, one day, if they don't quit orchestra, that is, they're going to need to learn vibrato. And the longer they delay, the harder it's going to be. Why? Because students build habits, and they reinforce those habits with every note they play. If they have a bad setup or if they have bad left-hand technique, they're going to have a tough time with vibrato. So what are you also delaying when you're not teaching vibrato is you're delaying the left-hand technique, right? Okay, sales pitch over. Let's see if we can come up with a process that's easy for your students. It doesn't have to take up a lot of class time, and it's easy for you to teach. Let's look at this first finger E on the D string. Can we play first finger E on the D string? Can we play first finger E on the D string? I hope we can play first finger on the D string. Can we slide back to E flat, 1/2 step? Okay, probably with a little practice. Can we slide back to E natural? Can we go back and forth between 1 and low 1? Let's slide back and forth on the D string using quarter notes. E, E flat, E, E flat. Okay, that's day 1, right? How much class time does that take up? How much class time did we just use? Not much, right? Day 2, we're going to reinforce what we learned on day 1. Now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to try to keep the thumb still, a bit harder, right? Split them up, inside and outside players with their stand partners, and have them watch each other and see if their thumbs are moving, yes or no. If yes, put down the bow and just have them work on the left hand until they get it. Okay, that's it. How much time did we use on day 2? Not much, right? All right, day 3, we review what we did on day 1 and day 2, and maybe without the bow. Then we push down the first finger firmly and keep the tip of the finger on the E tape, but we move the hand backwards. Let the finger rock back and forth. Here, let me get a violin here so we can see better. Okay, so we're going to put down the first finger and we're going to move the hand backwards and let it rock back and forth while keeping the fingertip down. Okay? All right, day 4. We're going to review what we did on day 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to add the bow to see if we can play whole notes, but we're going to move the left hand back in quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 while bowing. And then we're going to see if we can coordinate the two hands together. All right, last day, day 5, we review 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we try to speed up. Instead of going quarter notes, we do eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's it, right? 5 days, probably not more than 5 minutes a day, okay? And you might be saying, oh, well, that's not real vibrato. Okay, true, but it's some of the nuts and bolts of real vibrato, and it's something that they can do in honor and glory to get them started, and they can pick up the rest of the technique over time. If they can master this basic motion, you can incorporate some of my exercises from my demonstration videos from season 1, episode 4, to get them to learn the 3 types of vibrato in more detail. Or if you don't like that, you can pick up another vibrato method, okay? So why not just start there? Why do this stuff? Well, because we use this to overcome a barrier, the barrier of acquiring vibrato technique. And once we've opened that door, then the excuses melt away and we can move forward. So yes, it's not pedagogically accurate. People will be very critical of it, but it's something basic that everyone can do, and it will lead you to go into more detail with your students later. If you want to skip this and go straight there, okay, perfect, do that. But for everybody else, this is a starting point for students and teachers that get stuck, okay, learning vibrato or developing vibrato. And with this simple exercise in just 5 days, 5 minutes a day, we can help students get started. We have to keep the wrist straight. If the wrists get bent, we reduce the range of motion and we can't flex the finger, okay? So that's another thing that you might want to do, is have them pair up with their stand partners and have them watch each other and make sure that the wrists are keeping straight and not bending back and forth. Okay, we got to monitor them. We got to monitor those wrists and keep them straight. The other thing that can inhibit them is the thumb. For this, if our thumb is squeezing and that you start to see the thumb turning white, just take the thumb away. And this is really important for cellos and bass players too. Make sure that we take the thumb away. And you don't want to see cellos and bass players doing this or violin players doing this. Have them keep the thumb in the same spot and see if they can vibrate the string. All right, some students are going to want to move their thumbs, which can be a good sign because it means at least they're not squeezing so hard that they're able to move. But, you know, we're going to need to isolate that thumb and make sure that the thumb is doing what it's supposed to. Okay, so that's something we might want to do with our peer coaching. Our stand partners can help coach each other. So now we have a basic method for vibrato that doesn't take up a lot of time and it opens the door to progress. Okay, don't let perfect get in the way of good, right? That's Voltaire, right? Listen to Voltaire. He's much smarter than me. And in my next video, we're going to go over the common problems in honor and glory, and I hope to see you then.